one of my last videos, I wanted to go outside. I did not want to stay inside. I wanted to go outside and do anything I could outside just to not be inside. Well, today's the opposite. Today, I'd love to just sit on the couch, watch some shows, go through my seed catalogs, and do absolutely nothing. But I have to come outside. The reason I don't really want to be outside is because it rained all day yesterday, from during the night, Friday night, all the way through Saturday. And when I went to bed last night, Saturday night, it was raining. So I'm waking up this morning. My yard's drained pretty good and everything, but it's overcast. It's like when you wake up in the morning and you go to bed that evening, it never changes. You wake up with it overcast and you go to bed with it overcast. So it seems like the time's just sitting still and it never changes. And I just had to say, you can't lose this day. It's kind of cold, it's drippy, everything's wet, and it's overcast, but I've got to do stuff. You can't not do stuff. It is January 22nd today. Hard to believe, but it's January 22nd, and there's not a day to waste. Not right now, not getting ready for spring. My options are to start the plant racks that I need to build for starting my seeds. This is some of the boards here for that, but it's also boards here for another shelf that I'm building for my den to hold some things that I need to hold just decoratively in my den. So that's those boards. I've got some other 2x4s on the other side of my house that go with this. I've got my wheelbarrow already full of all my equipment for building, my miter saw and everything. But I think I'm gonna ditch all this and I'm gonna work on building up some planting areas. I think I'm gonna rake some of these leaves from this part of my property and maybe some other parts of my property where there's a lot of leaves. Go put them on all my horse manure, which is everywhere. I've spread horse manure all around my ramp. I've spread some in the front of my carport where I'm gonna put these tomato beds. Oh, it's everywhere. I've got it against my house. I've got it between the house and the trailer. And just all down the front, because I think I'm gonna plant some English peas here, and I need to get those seeds in the ground like today or tomorrow. Yes, I need to get those seed racks built. I do. But what I did was, last night in my kitchen, I went ahead and filled up one whole tray full of seed starting mix and moistened it and put it in the trays. And I went ahead and started my seeds for artichokes, asparagus. I did some leeks, and I did some red burgundy onions. I've never grown leeks or onions or artichokes or asparagus, but I'm doing it now. So I went ahead and potted all that up into the trays. I put the trays in front of my window in the den. I put them on a little heat mat because there obviously is no sun beaming in that window today. But I just set it on a rubber tub that I put by the window. Then I set the seed tray on top of it so it is up in the light. And I put a little heat mat under it this morning that I had. I ordered some heat mats last year that I used when I did seed starting. And so I had those. So I put one under there. And so those are started. Those are the things that I needed to get started now. And that was why I felt so under the gun to get those racks built, was because of needing to get those artichoke and asparagus plants started, particularly those. The leeks and the onions, you can just go from seed and start direct sowing them in the ground. I'm gonna do both, but it did say on my leeks that if you could start them as transplants and let them get about 6 inches tall, that was the best shot at growing them. I do see a lot of people planting leeks and things like that they get from Dixondale and everywhere. So I feel like sometimes doing those starts is a better option, especially for something you've never grown before. However, I only had the one tray, and I did 10 artichoke plants and I think maybe 8 asparagus. And so I didn't have a whole lot left over, a whole lot of room left over to split between leeks and onions. So I just said, you know what, I'm gonna start some and I'm gonna direct sow some and I'm gonna see how it goes. You never can tell. But that kind of took the pressure off of me to have to build these stands right now, because having only one tray of all of that stuff and having it already going and in front of a window, I'm good for right now. The rest of the things I need to start, my tomatoes and all that, I can start middle to late February and be okay with those. Last year I started all of my tomatoes February 15th, maybe around the 10th. I'm not sure if I waited till the 15th, and that was too early. They grew, I had to up pot them, and then they were still pretty big by the time I put them out in the garden and getting kind of root bound. So this year I'm going to try to hold myself back and not do them till at least the 15th or 20th, something like that. And so that kind of takes the pressure off of having to build those stands today. I am working against weather though, because though it's dreary today, at least it's not raining. So things are kind of drying up a little bit out here. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be sunny all day. However, Tuesday, thunderstorms are back. So I need to go ahead while I've got today's clear weather, not rainy weather, and tomorrow's sunny weather. And I need to get some leaves put on these beds and bring in what little soil I have left in my pile over there and spread it where I can. At least get it on the things I know I'm fixing to plant ASAP. So I'm gonna have to order some more organic soil from somewhere, but right now I'm just gonna use what I have and kind of build this up with this horse manure with leaves, and then put some soil on top. And I'm hoping my English peas and all will like that and will take root. They just don't like to be soggy, so I'm at least getting them up off the ground. And hopefully they'll take root in that organic soil that I can spread. So let me get on that. That's what I'm doing today. And later this week, we'll get to building those racks. I realized that one of the first things I needed to do was put this big old bag of Miracle-Gro potting soil into my sugar kettle. I got my sugar kettle back here, and I'm gonna do carrots in it. That's my main thing for having it there, is to grow some carrots this year. However, I have decided what I'm gonna do first is put in a round of spinach in there. I'm gonna put some caramel spinach, C-A-R-M-E-L, caramel, however you wanna say it, spinach that I got seeds, a whole 1 pound pack of seeds from Johnny's Seeds a year or so ago. And I need to go ahead and use that. And so I was gonna do space spinach, which I also got from Johnny's, but I only had a small pack of space spinach and I had a really big pack of the caramel spinach. I'm gonna save the space and use in a different spot. I'm gonna put that caramel spinach in here because I think I'm gonna need a good bit of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this potted mix in there, and then I'll work on my leaves and my soil for my beds, and then I'm gonna go inside and come out with a bunch of seeds. And I'm excited. I would say it's my first seeds, but I did plant some arugula in my green stalk, and it's coming up. I planted some butter crunch lettuce. A couple of those are coming up, not all of them yet. And I planted some romaine lettuce. None of those are coming up yet. I'm gonna give them a couple more days before I panic about that, but I can always replant something because I've got tons of lettuce and tons of greens I could put in there. So let me get this done, and then we'll move on to the other beds. Oh, and my T-post, still here, still here. I just can't deal with it right now. I'm here to shovel some of my soil into my wheelbarrow, but I have a silly question. You see the horse here? It's a good horse. That horse is really quiet, never really bothers anybody, or, you know, just kind of there. But you see this fence between me and the horse? if I plant things along that fence, people that know horses, what are the odds that horse is going to eat every bit of it? Can I get somebody's opinion on that? Because I just would love to plant something along here. Some pole beans, some melons, and it's not like everything's going to hang on the horse's side. Some of it, you know, I could trail out into my yard to where the horse could not get to it. But what I'm worried about is him just eating all my branches in general and trying to eat the whole plant. And that way the vines coming out toward me wouldn't matter because the plant's gone. This may sound silly, but I'm trying to use every resource I have. And this fence here is good fence. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's got 5 strands of barbed wire on it, going up and down. And this would just be a great place to put some tomatoes or something. I just hate to waste this fence. But I have no idea how horses behave. I do know they like snacks like carrots and all that kind of stuff. But is he going to come over here and just eat my whole plant and make this a futile effort? Please let me know. I'd love to know that before spring comes. Okay, got this whole row covered with leaves. Got my soil here. I'm going to cover it up. Cover the soil up over the leaves, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay, got it done. I just put a little 2 to 3 inch pile of soil above these leaves all the way down the row. Just trying to make a little bed that the peas can germinate in and be happy in until they set roots and all. And then of course the leaves are just a thin layer, and then it goes down into the compost, the horse manure type stuff. I think it'll be okay just to get started. I feel like these peas will be a good thing to try in here and see if it'll go, because they'll be germinating shortly, you know, once you plant them. Within the week or so, I should know if they're coming up. And it's just a good thing to try. I'm trying to use what I have. I don't have any type of tiller. Don't really want to use a little tiller anyway. I just kind of want to build up this soil and plant something in it. So I feel like this is going to work okay. And while I was working, the sun came out, believe it or not. So it may clear up to be a nice day today. I'm working around the ramp as well. I put some soil back there over that horse manure. This horse manure that was here, I haven't raked down yet. I don't know why, I just skipped it for some reason. So I need to get the rake and rake it down. But this spot back here, I put a little horse manure. I wasn't thinking though. And you see on my concrete where it's got a little slush where maybe some extra concrete was just raked there whenever they were finishing the concrete all along a wall or something. There used to be something here, but right now I forgot to take my maul and sit here and kind of hit this concrete and get this stuff off before I plant my flower bed. It's just ugly. It's just ugly. And if you do go to step around it and you don't really see it, you can trip on it. So it's a tripping hazard. I did it over here one day, and my friend Mella helped me as well. And once we hit it with the maul a few times, see, it just comes off completely. So all I have to do is kind of hit on that for a little bit today. It's gonna fly it into the flower beds, but I'm just gonna kind of sit there and pull it out. I'd rather get rid of it before I start planting. Got a good little pile of scraps here from hammering that off, but it looks so much better. It's flat now. It's flat along there. I'm gonna be so much happier that I just got it over with. I'm gonna pick this up and go put it in a little mud hole that I have in my driveway. We're gonna get some rocks at some point, but right now that little mud hole is driving me crazy and I'm having to go around it. So I'm gonna use this and not waste it and just go put it in there and kind of give it a little traction in that hole. Don't want to waste anything if I can. This is the spinach that I just planted in my sugar kettle. The variety is Carmel or Carmel, however you want to say it. It is a hybrid. It can be large leaf if you plant it kind of far apart. You can grow it as baby greens. You can do whatever you want. But it's supposed to be a really good variety. And I need to try it because I did have this big bag of it. I planted them in my sugar kettle. and I'm fixing to kind of water them in just a little bit, not saturate them completely or anything, but I need to put some water on this because though it did rain yesterday and the soil at the bottom is probably moist, I added that 2 cubic feet of potting soil just a few minutes ago and it's not moist, it's very dry. So I need to water these in, give them a little chance. They're gonna sit out here the rest of today and then they'll be out here all day in the sun tomorrow. So I need to give them a little moisture to get them going. Okay, here's my thinking. The reason I'm planting English peas here is to kind of take advantage of the fact that I have this porch here to use it as a trellis. And what I thought I would do was I could put little screws wherever I need them, to just going up this direction, up the middle pole, up the far end pole down there. And then I can take string and weave it between all of those little screws that I put in there, leave them sticking out 1.5 inches or so. And I could take string and weave it up in there. And that way my English peas would have something to climb on. I don't know that I'm going to need it really tall up here, but at least to probably about this. It just depends. What I'm going to plant here, because this is the tallest part of my porch ramp situation, is I'm going to plant some Thomas Laxton English peas. I've grown those before. I still have some seeds that I need to use, and before they completely get terrible germination, which they're a couple years old, so sometimes peas lose a little germination, but I've got them. I'm going to try them. I'd rather try them and not get anything than to waste these seeds. So I'm going to try them. But the reason I'm using them is because when I did grow them before, they did get pretty tall. They climbed up my Horta Nova netting and got at least to my eye level tall. I know that. So they got over 5 feet tall. And so I'm putting them there. But as you can see, it gets shorter and shorter as it comes down the ramp. So down here, I wanted to put a variety that's shorter. But what I chose was this one that I just bought not really too long ago at Tractor Supply. And it's called Burpeeana Early Peas. It's just made by Burpee. I'm just wanting to kind of try a hybrid pea that will just hopefully germinate well and do good. I just want some green peas. Last year I went with my little Marvel peas that I had grown before and had great luck with, but last year they didn't do anything. I'm scared to plant them out again this year. I don't know if it's the weather. I don't know if it was something I did last year. I had to stop filming for just a moment because 4 police cars just drove by going fast. People had pulled off the side of the road and let them go by, and they were flying, heading towards the interstate area. I don't know what's going on. I hope it's not a bad wreck. I hope nobody's in trouble. But say a prayer for that. But I just wanted to say that I just chose kind of a odd variety. You know, I tend to go for my heirlooms. I have plenty of seeds in there that I bought from really good companies, just Johnny's, Territorial Seeds, just all kind of peas. I bought peas from everywhere. My co-op seeds, I love my co-op seeds. But I just decided to go with these little seeds. I'm just gonna see how they do. Sometimes just the most common ones that you find at the stores, they do just fine. And I don't know why, but I had a feeling that these might do okay. And it says they only get 24 inches high, so that's good. I need something that's not gonna get extremely tall. I am gonna come through here shortly and put that board that's about knee high that trims out this porch. I'm gonna do that shortly. I've just been kind of working around it. I'm just working around it. I'll get to it. I'll get to it soon. But I'm gonna sit on this bucket real quick and plant these peas and we'll just talk. I'm gonna start just kind of putting these in the ground, so I'm not gonna be looking at my camera all the time. But I'm just wondering about you, about your gardening season. You getting excited? What you gonna plant? I love it when people comment. I really do. I don't so much get hung up on the views on my channel as I do just the interaction. I do like to have interaction on my channel. I do like to hear from other people. I love, love, love to know what people are growing. I am watching a lot of the seed haul videos, as everybody probably is. But I'm not, well, I'm interested in everything, but I love to know what you've already grown and what worked for you and what didn't. I find that information to be just so much more valuable to me, even more so than what people buy. What worked for you? What grows well? I'll throw out a couple of things. I was looking through my tomato seeds the other day, just trying to narrow down what I'm going to grow. And one pack of seeds that I had bought last year that I actually forgot about was called Amana tomatoes. But I had never heard of Amana tomatoes. And then, never heard of in my life. And then I was watching a video yesterday, I think Magnolia Ridge, and she mentioned Amana tomatoes. And I don't recall her saying whether they were really, really good. I do recall her saying she was getting low on seeds and she was going to get some more. So I assume if you're going to order more of those seeds that you liked them. But has anybody grown Amana tomatoes? And can you tell me anything about them that's worth telling me whether I should grow them or not? I'd really be curious to know that. Question number 2. Just throwing something out there to see what y'all think. Last year I was watching a video by a girl who gardens a lot, and she said that she always takes 2 pepper plants and puts them in the hole together. My day has been stop and go, stop and go. I stopped my video a second ago when I was talking about the peppers because a phone call came through that I needed to answer. But what I was saying was I had already planted 2 pepper plants in each little pod in the tray. And so when I heard her video saying plant 2 in the hole in the ground, not just 1, I was able to just stop worrying about thinning out those peppers that I had started. And I just planted 2 in the hole. And so I left the 2 growing in the pod because it's okay if their roots were all intertwined. It's okay because they were going in the same hole. And I had good luck with peppers last year. I grew Cubanelles like crazy. Had never grown them before, and they just went crazy. If you want a pepper that's very productive, grow the Cubanelles. I highly recommend them. And they're very good to just kind of slit open, de-seed, and to stuff with whatever you want to stuff them with. Cream cheese, Jimmy Dean sausage, whatever you want to stuff them with. They're very, very good. And I also grew Jimmy Nardellos. They did the same thing. Sheep nose pimento peppers. So bullnose bells, all of them, every variety I grew did well. Is that attributed to putting 2 in the hole? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think I'll probably do it again this year, simply because if you're going to start seeds in a tray, go ahead and put 2 seeds in there, because if one doesn't germinate, you at least have 1 plant. But since you are putting 2 in there, if they both hit and they both come up, just leave them in there together. Who cares? Put them in the same hole. I don't think it hurts them at all. I think it does okay. So after talking on the phone, the time has kind of ticked by. I need to go ahead and kind of be preparing to wrap all this up and go inside and get supper going. I also, tomorrow, since it's going to be sunny all day and all, I'm going to take those Good King Henry seeds and my ramp seeds that I put in the seed starting mix in my refrigerator. I'm going to take those out and put them in the ground somewhere out here. It's the first time I've grown either of those perennials. Don't know how they're going to do. It's early. You're supposed to plant them out now, but since it's early, if they don't do, if nothing happens, I can always kind of plant something else. It may be that they take a while to germinate and come up. They are perennials. Sometimes they get a little bit of a slower start, but once they're there, and that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that the Good King Henry and the ramps will hit, you know. The ramps are very slow, so I may not know good or bad on those for a while, but the Good King Henrys, I'm hoping that I'll at least get some green shoots coming up this year, and just to know that they're there, and that they're happy in the soil I put them in. So that's what I'm hoping. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll try to show you that while I do it. I need to kind of think out exactly where I'm going to put them and do a little prep work on that. Maybe I can get that done before it gets dark. I need to put up a lot of this stuff. I need to start building those seed starting racks. There's a lot on my list. I bet there's a lot on y'all's list too. So I'm not saying anything you're not feeling for yourself. There's a lot to do. It feels like time is just ticking. Tomorrow will be January 23rd. It just seems like it was just New Year's a few days ago. Tomorrow will be the 23rd. It's amazing. Y'all, it's on. It's spring and it's on. This is Lainey from Hilltop Home Place. Thank you so much for just stopping by with me on this Sunday afternoon doing a little gardening. I appreciate it. I wish you all the luck in the world with your gardens. Y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. I could not let this moment go by without showing this. I got it. I finally got it out of that hole. It went so far down there before the little arrow part started. And then even when I uncovered the arrow part, it still wouldn't come out. I finally got it to where I can spin it. And I'm like, if you can spin around, why aren't you coming out? And I finally was able to pull it out. Woo! I got it. Check that off my list. It's done. Except for that other one I've got to do. But I'll worry about that later.